Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
Well, I'm back.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he's back from beyond.
And
we're all
Chris,
back.
I gotta ask you something, Chris, before we get going. Did you seriously refer to your girlfriend Jenny as Dakota with a sex change?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I did.
Fuck, man. That's how you treat your lady. My God.
My girlfriend tonight, Jenny, and she was probably watching this, Jenny. She's staying at a medieval castle tonight in Ireland. You should see that's a big, massive turret castle for the 12th, 13th century. She's staying there. But here's a question for you, Dakota. Did you clap any gators down in Orlando?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I knew you were going to try to bring that up.
What? I don't know. It's a strange thing, by the way. It's a strange thing. Use Americans, I'm going to say this right now. These are weird. Because everybody I've said that to in the UK are fine with it. They say, it's like petting a dog or something like that.
I don't even know what to say with you anymore, man.
Well, we know who's bald, and we know who's bonkers.
Oh,
and somebody's coming to get arrested.
I know. Sounds like Brett here's got a raid getting ready to happen on him. That'd be it first. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thought it'd be kind of a fun little idea. I was hoping a few more people would show up, but I guess we'll see what happens. Just to invite some other people that went to GSIC 2023 and just kind of reflect on everything that happened, because it was an interesting experience.
It was incredible.
You know what? So, Brett, you want to talk about yourself and what drove you down to Orlando?
Yeah. What drove me down to Orlando, it was kind of like I had felt Close Encounters, and I'm at home putting mashed potatoes on the table and making a mountain. And it's kind of like that for me. Was all of these people had to go to this place, the ones that did, the ones that made it, whatever was in their way, we had to be there. And after following most of all of the people that were speakers there, I knew these people were very much like on a different level than other speakers in this exopolitical world and ET UFO stuff. This was next level, and it really was. When I was there, it was absolutely next level. We learned about Nagumak, who are now joining the Galactic Federation of Worlds that scare the crap out of the reptilians and are standing strong. We found out we're going to get this new free energy with crystals and coils, and that we can either have for our own homes or for cities. We found out, and also for me personally, I had some epiphanies when it came to the children. I've always been looking after kids who are involved in helping children, whether it's a youth counselor or if it's been, I'm now working in pre-K. My whole life I've been an actor, working on movies and based in New York City. I'm from London originally. But I've found myself after 2020 kind of like and hearing about Epstein and all that stuff. So I was like, I'm done. I'll freeze my union status and I'm going to go work. I'm going to raise my family. I have two kids, 2 girls, little girls. And I put myself into being a teacher in pre-K with both the girls. And I'm now in a different school with my other girl. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because when was it I forgot the lady's name offhand. She was abducted and she was helping. She was taken as a child, and went through these horrible slave programs. And at the end of it, the positive part of that presentation was how these children were being helped and how they were being nurtured. And I really started to see that why I've suddenly been with kids my whole time. And also I've been having really vivid dreams of rescuing gifted children on ships and helping them. So it's really putting now, I feel like fostering children or mentoring for children that have been through these horrific programs and need love. I feel like is what I started to see as like a breakthrough when that particular speaker came on.
Can I just say something, by the way? I admire the two of you for what he's do in the space. But it's actually Dakota did a video the other day there. What day did you put that video out, Dakota? The one where you were talking about what happened to you?
It's I think it was back Wednesday, Thursday, I believe.
I think it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I will say this. I would just like to say this actually. I admire Dakota for coming out and finally telling us his entire story. Because I sat and I watched all of that, and then I had to go somewhere, but I come back and I rewatched it again. And I will admit, I mean, what you two are doing and up there, I mean, it's quite interesting, and hopefully it'll bring some peace to the universe, as one would say.
I feel a lot of peace coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely. Honestly, for me, I honestly couldn't put it into words. Just between Melanie Caress, John Charles, damn near all the speakers, I felt like always felt like something was getting ready to happen. Especially with that Nikki Allen. I really want to get her on the show.
She did a reading for me. We had a death in our family, and I had to get some answers. And I had a one-on-one with her, and she really gave me some great answers for what had happened. At the end of the day, it's always going back to the person died of a COVID vaccine. But there was other things that got her to that place. But she's an incredible person. I didn't know her before this either, Nikki. And I sent her a Star Path meditation, which was I dated a channel and a medium for 7.5 years, and I met her in a seance, and I realized that I was a mentor for mediums and channels. And so I helped her see it wasn't just ghosts and spirits that she's speaking to, but then we talked about the Pleiadians and the Arcturians and Syrians, etc. And she started to really unfold and see everything, which I'd been researching for maybe at least a decade by then. And she had confirmed things that I had learned about myself. And then she gave me extra information, for instance, about where I'm from in the universe. I'm a Syrian starseed. She told me about my guides and who was following me. And funnily enough, there was one guide in particular. His name's Rygon, and it turned out that he didn't know how he got in contact with him, because he had his feet up and he was on one of the ships watching me on a screen, like watching my life, like the Truman Show. And he's like, I don't know how you're communicating with me, but I'm just watching you. So I spent 7 years with her, and we ended up doing 250 readings for people that we hadn't met. So the amount of information that came through was really, really incredible, and the kind of beings that came through were amazing. And I had confirmed that I was Syrian, and when I was on Sirius, I had created a device that was like a possibility making machine. Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Hi.
There was a possibility making machine, and it was incredible, and people used it for all kinds of things. And then I left it in good hands. And then hundreds of years later, it got into the wrong hands, and apparently caused many deaths. I don't know the details of it, but from that time on, I had made a commitment to come back to Earth and incarnate over and over again and raise the frequency every time. So I've been doing that in different capacities, in different incarnations, and they've always been like a positive person helping people.
Nope.
That's where
there, Dakota. I think we've lost Dakota there for a couple of seconds. Oh, he'll be back soon. That's really see that so I'll get to you in a minute. That name, here we go. It's beginning.
It's happening.
Beginning. It's happening.
It never fails.
What the hell's going on here?
What did you do,
fun.
Chris?
It wasn't me. I didn't do anything.
I'm blaming you.
Click the one with the square buttons there. I don't know.
It's just a glitch in the
me.
Matrix. It's a glitch in the Matrix.
That is so weird. That no, I was
Be
actually
the
going to
glitch you
ask
wish to be. Yeah.
I was just actually going to ask you, Brett, just before I thought weird. That name Rygon. Who's Rygon?
He was one of my
Rygon?
guides a guide at the time. I had 10 guides. Our guides change as we grow and we
Yeah.
So he was just like a guy on a ship, on a UFO light ship,
It's
but
weird
watching me.
It was weird because I've heard that name somewhere, but I don't know where. I've heard that name.
Yeah,
somewhere
as a
before.
first, I hadn't heard that name
No.
either.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, that.
You bet. Oh, this is the beginning. This is what happens when we're.
What is it about you that's breaking the show?
It's not me. Don't blame me. You blame the Scottish person. Look at it. It's called Dakota.
It wasn't until she showed up that weird stuff started happening.
Captain, we can't do any more. Captain, the reactor goes overheating.
Christ.
It's still live.
This is gonna be a fun one.
Me.
Yeah, we're
I'm
still
telling you,
on.
honestly, see, this is. I'm telling you, that's it. It's the what do you call them? The government establishment doing their thing.
Oh, we did have black helicopters surrounding the hotel.
I'll hold my hands up high. It's not me. I'm not touching any buttons. I promise.
Hands up. Yeah, I'll get my handcuffs out if I have to.
I just handcuffed me at the wall.
Where's Jenny when we need her?
No, Jenny's staying in a medieval castle tonight in Southern Ireland, I'm afraid. So you've had it there.
Anyway, so I'll try again. Hi, Heather. Thank you for joining and breaking the show.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to break in.
I know, right? Everyone's all paranoid. What's going to happen now?
I'm looking at the keys and I'm staying
not.
away for the keys. I'm sitting there like that. Then.
All right. Full steam ahead.
Let's go.
Yes. Okay.
Nope.
Are you there? Oh,
We're
she's
here.
froze.
We're still. Is Heather froze? Heather!
I think so. Heather!
Back to the light, Heather. Come back to the light.
This was
Big
not what I was
thing,
expecting.
I'm telling you, this always happens. This always happens when you get like-minded people together to talk about this subject. It is so weird. It's as if they don't want it getting out.
She'll come back.
Right?
I've noticed it happens to Danny quite a lot too. I've noticed her lives go wonky sometimes, but she does
Well,
them.
you know how many
pre-recorded.
times she...
No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're good. She's back.
Maybe.
Kinda.
I was waiting for you.
Oh.
Oh.
It's the reptilians.
They're gone.
Where's the Federation's tech support when we need them?
I can. You need to pay Elon Musk to give his internet.
Right?
That is so weird. I mean, why is the screen went like that? Too?
Why is it picking on Heather?
Because maybe she's got something to say that they don't want.
I know what. It never failed. Oh, there. And we lost her.
I'm in the
All
middle.
right. Let's just get on with it.
All right.
That's just weird. That by honestly, that's that now. She's back.
Mama.
My thumb's
Are you with
back
us?
to bed. Can you hear
She's
me?
back.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Put my hands up.
So, Heather, how are you?
Yeah. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. So what brought you down to GSIC?
Well, I went last year and I had a fantastic time and I was blown away because it was the first time I'd ever actually heard any super soldiers tell their personal story. So just listening to Tony and listening to Chris and Jean Charles. And now this time they had Melanie, and that was phenomenal just to learn the work that she's doing with rescuing the children and her own personal journey and who they were before they incarnated as humans.
Yeah, that was very touching. You have to kind of hear that genuine soulmates type of story.
Yeah, lifetimes together.
Exactly.
And how he's so unique, you know, in the way that he was conceived, you know, and born in those circumstances with the supernova explosion.
Yeah.
I
His
like
entrance should have been him teleporting onto stage.
Right.
That would have been really
That
good.
Why? Why didn't he do it?
I can't answer that.
I think he said it that he's kind of paranoid that if he goes to teleport, he may not have his passport with him or any way to get home.
It's on his pajamas when he sleeps, he said. Yes.
Yeah, no, just I feel him after everything that happened to me while I was at GSIC. There's now a security camera recording everything in the bedroom just in case.
James Rick was abducted twice. He told me at the hotel.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I hadn't had much of a chance to talk with him.
He had something in his jaw the way through. He told me some sort of like marking inside, and other things on the inside of his chips. I know he was taken twice by scientists. 3.
Certainly makes you wonder the extent of all these different programs that go on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris, you
See,
alive?
that's what I don't get. No, I'm feared to talk. I'm actually feared to talk. I'm feared to move in case I break something. I don't know. There's a weird energy tonight. I can feel something. I don't know what it is. It's just weird. I'll tell you after Dakota. But anyway, why did they do this? Why did they take people that have been abducted? What are they going to learn? Because obviously they're working with. Obviously the governments of the world are working with. There
could be agreements.
Why?
I think there's agreements also before you come in. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes there's agreements that you make that you will be that person.
That's interesting. That I don't know if it is night. It just feels really weird. There's a weird vibe. There's a weird energy about it. You feel anything, Dakota?
No, I'm starting to feel a lot of what I felt while at GSIC. It wasn't a bad, just something different.
I'm getting that
you know?
really annoying. I'm getting that really annoying tone thing that I usually get. It's like tight. What do you call that? It's got a name. It's like tinnitus or something like that. It's like that, but it's different, and it's got like frequency. It's weird. What's that in the chat there from? It's a hello. Sorry for bothering you. I wanted to offer. Oh no, it's a bloody promotion thing. Yeah, I need to ban that.
I can have crickets in the back of me. I'm outside, and New York, and there's crickets just in case that comes through.
No, I'm getting the weird tones for the what do you call it, the CE5 thing. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
I get it quite a lot when there's like like-minded people all together. I can hear it through my strange, very strange. And Dakota's off again. See it? See how he's froze? Hands are here. Dakota. There's something definitely going on tonight. There's a weird, really weird energy. I don't know if you can feel it, Brett, Heather. I don't know if you can feel. See? And now I'll probably disappear.
It's been very intense energy recently. I don't know if you saw the Schumann resonance, but it's been really active. And then today, it's apparently more about the crown chakra clearing a lot of stuff that's been coming up for people.
Interesting.
Chris, stop
Back
picking shit!
I'm not touching anything. Damn it!
Oh, dear Lord.
We're here.
I'm
Still.
telling you, there's
Figures
something going on tonight.
something would happen tonight.
Just ignore it.
I think, yeah, it does get really annoying. See when you've got really good guests like you guys on to talk to, and then this starts to happen. It is so annoying.
Let's just talk really fast.
Let's go. Off you go.
Everybody's
I'm
like
gonna
auctioneers,
with my
got it.
hands.
So, did I miss anything? Or
No,
No?
I'll be fine. Ask away, Dakota. Come on, you were at the event. I wasn't. I was in Scotland, in the rain.
Well, everybody was asking about you, Chris. Come on.
I was in Scotland. It's rain. It rains here 99.9%. I'll tell you what it is now. It's -5 outside.
Well, I do want to say one thing that I reckon I know who JP is now, and I want to make sure that everyone who ever watches this should, and they also figured it out if they were there, not to say anything and keep their mouths shut, because he's doing lots of great work for everybody, and just to be careful, because he actually put himself out on a limb. I think. I mean, if it's eventually it becomes a bit obvious when you kind of like hone in on people. So he should, hopefully he's still safe and he can do his thing.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already know that there's, not even a week after the conference, and somebody's already trying to stir up trouble. But I know it is what it is.
Oh, there was someone stirring trouble.
Apparently, I don't know.
Look, you're going to get troublemakers everywhere. Everybody knows me for doing the paranormal side of stuff, like ghosts and stuff like that, and we get it all the time. There's somebody trying to cause like trouble everywhere all the time. It'll happen in the UFO community. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just keep at it though. Honestly, keep it what you're doing, because you're doing a good job, and one day the Earth will be free. Hopefully in my lifetime, but I don't know.
Well, once again, everybody's going for 6 months into next year that there's going to be next big grand revelation. So,
yeah,
we'll see if that happens.
We've been waiting. It seems like 2024 is a good year. I mean, because I feel like 2026 is like a gateway year, and 2030 is a gateway year, and 2040. I feel like 2026. So I think by 2026 we're looking back at everything that unfolded.
I bet you something. Here's a prediction for you. I bet you something major happens in 2028.
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Just a feeling. Trust me. You'll just have to wait and see. Note this back in time to 2028. You can have me up on here, and you'll see what happens.
What happened? Because lots of things are gonna happen, but
yeah, lots of things.
I think something. It was a friend of mine. We were discussing the aliens and stuff like that, and we're getting into the. Something will happen. There'll be a race that visits the Earth in 2028.
Oh, a race. Okay.
But interesting. Yeah.
Okay. I think so.
Considering most of them normally go for dates because it's hard to keep track of time zones when you're dealing with space.
Yeah. They're coming either way.
Something needs to be done with this Earth really quickly before it's too late. You just need to look at the world we're in right now. You just need to look at the Middle East right now. And it's just falling apart.
It's all being created, though. I mean, it's being created by the same two people, same person, people funding it, and that means it's the last wahoo.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Because they have no more money left.
I'm almost there. It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens when they do run out of funds. But speaking of things going on in the Middle East, what did y'all think of the footage Danny was showing about the missiles getting intercepted over Gaza?
I see.
Yeah, it was. I mean, for me, I shared it, and it looked pretty real. They talked about it not being the dome because the lady brought that up on the microphone, and everyone was like, "No, it's definitely Galactic Federation orbs." Yeah, it was incredible, and the energy of of that video, and then the energy in the room was also incredible. Just to see it then.
It was. I mean, I was with Tony. I don't know how she thought it would have been the Iron Dome, because it just doesn't work like that. But
The Iron Dome doesn't work like that. The Iron Dome, the Iron Dome works where how it works is you've got little. I know about this stuff, by the way, because I'm into the military stuff. There's launchers. They've got launchers all round about the city. And when a missile comes in, it detects it and it fires a missile at it. So you can usually see the streak of the missile to take out the other missile. That was something strange. There were little orbs floating about in the sky, taking out the missiles. That was not Iron Dome. That was something far superior.
They were being absorbed
technology-wise. Yeah. It was just absorbing the energy. Just as you say that, it was like, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it's definitely interesting to see how many times, throughout history, whenever something major like that happens, they step in or intervene. Also goes to make you wonder, obviously the efforts that the Federation has put in, when you take everything into consideration, it's beyond philanthropic. There's a personal cause. What was it, that great tyranny they got to talking about? How did it get so bad to where they're willing to put in this much effort to try to put an end to it?
Yeah. I mean, it's as long as we got the humans doing the human things on Earth, and you got the ETs doing the ET things, getting the negative ones off, then that's all they can do.
Yeah.
I suppose we can probably, because a lot of people, especially in TikTok, that's where everybody's saying there's got to be a nuclear war. But I do feel that the Federation will not allow that to happen. I do feel that. I do feel if somebody launches one or somebody, it'll probably hit something and cause some damage, but I don't think it'll go off. I don't think it'll go off.
They froze them every time. The ETs have always gone over there and they freeze the nukes. There's no nuclear war is going to happen.
No, not at all. I mean, that's why it's all being proxy wars nowadays, because they can still blame to the masses that aren't aware of what's going on. No, that's not us. We're sending them help, but that's not us.
Yeah,
it's all by design. That is all by design. And it's the Middle East is all by design. You've got to remember we've got Russia, we've got Iran, and we've got China, and obviously they're the main players. They're the ones that are not really working with the elites, as I call them, right? They're against them, and they know they have to get rid of them. It's the only way to get rid of them, but it's not going to happen. I don't think it's not going to be as easy as they think it is. It's on the chat. I'm just reading the chat there. EMP pulse. I'm just reading there's dots. Nukes mess with the 4th and the 5th dentist set. That's right, isn't it? Because you've got the extraterrestrials that live. Okay, that's a subject that we never really get into. Is who are the extraterrestrials that live in the different dimensions? Did you get to meet any at the event?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, well, there was the video we had. Who came in on the video call? What's his name? Jerry.
Jerry Wills.
Jerry Wills came on, so he's an ET, and then we had Jean Charles was pretty much an ET. I guess Melanie, and I mean we're starseeds, so we incarnated here, so we're probably ETs. So pretty much everyone in the room.
There were some Pleiadians walking around the courtyard of the hotel too, guarding.
Good. Wow. Nice. What, they were tall?
Tall,
Nordic?
blonde, female.
Nordic. Okay. Well, let's see a picture.
I think they pepper them in there, you know what I mean? And they blend in so well nobody even notices.
Yeah. Good.
Well, yeah, then you get the discussions like we have on some of these panels where everybody's talking about someone who just looks a little weird. I just can't help but sit back. It's like, okay, is it an alien or are we just making fun of some funny looking people? Come on.
If the person is tall, blonde, and really, really, really attractive, then you know it's a
We could all. I mean, we
Jenny.
all look like aliens, don't we?
It's like,
We
no,
all look like aliens.
But that you think Tay, that a lot of extraterrestrials out there will look at us and think we look odd?
I think they have too
Yeah.
much exposure to other beings that look different, that they would think that we look odd, honestly.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think all the panel members are so accepting of everybody because they've had so much exposure to so many other different types of beings in, you know, their service in the military, you know, in space.
Did you get to meet any Andromedans out of curiosity?
Just Alex Collier, the contactee.
Yeah.
Mm.
And he's
I've
amazing.
always found them fascinating. I've always found the Andromedans fascinating.
Yeah, me too.
I hear it's the hardest, one of the harder or the more protected planets to get onto, and it's a place also of reflection.
They are very big into that. I mean, yeah, they have cameras that can literally point at somebody anytime during their life cycle. So, wouldn't that be kind of nice?
Yeah. Wow.
But no, it was interesting how Danny was saying there was at least 15 full-blooded ETs at the conference. I was like, who are the three I missed?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. It does make you wonder who you were mingling with at night.
Exactly.
You could have come into contact. I mean, it makes you wonder. You could have been sitting at the bar having a drink with an extraterrestrial. You know, I mean, you don't know. That's the crazy thing.
I think I was dancing with Melanie.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize at one point at the party. I think she was at the party.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
No problem. But it'll be interesting next year. If Danny says what she says, she's got to get like a football stadium, fill a football stadium up. That'd be great if a big spaceship came out.
Oh, did she say that?
Yeah, we had her on the show, and she was gonna, because so many people were buying tickets. She was thinking she was gonna have to go book out a stadium for next year.
Whoa!
Can you imagine that at the stadium, the big spaceship just comes right out of the stadium?
That's a bit. No, it's not very cozy, though, is it? It's not very cozy.
No.
I don't know. I think I'll say if I'm going next year. Actually, I think I'm going to attempt it next year, and as long as it's maybe closer to home, you know. It's quite a big flight for the UK to the United States, you know.
Yeah, it's a commitment, but you know, it was worth every penny, and I'm not made of money either, and I'm just gonna put my ticket down. And I think it was in April, and I went to Burning Man as well this year, and but this event was much more exciting, even though Burning Man is like, you know, Burning Man. This event was the event of the events.
No, it certainly was. So, what did you guys think of the purple lights that were outside that everyone was saying was a ship parked above the hotel? Think that was it, or was that? Do you think it was lights off of Universal?
Yeah,
at first I thought it was. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's hard to tell. You need to have different people's time that they took them and where they were and if they moved or video. Because I wasn't 100% because there were so many lights shooting up in the air. But then there was another video we had released on the Galactic Chicks and Dudes that had a UFO in it that was over the ocean, like heading towards more of the ocean.
Yeah,
and they were moving.
Yeah.
Sorry. They were moving around. They weren't. When I first got there, if you're at the fire pit, they were above the South Tower corner, the corner of the South Tower, 2 lights behind the clouds. And then earlier they said they were directly above the courtyard, and they have video of that. So, and initially I thought maybe, you know, because I'm always trying to think logically, you know, because if people ask you, like, you need to be able to say, well, it definitely wasn't this. I can tell you, Universal streams lights in the sky all the time, right? The kind that crisscross.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see the beams go up into the sky,
Mm.
especially because of the humidity level in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
And these were not being projected into the sky. Because even when those lights were gone, there were actually lights shining from the top of the hotel roof. But when those lights in the sky were gone, those lights on the top of the roof were still on.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it would be obvious for me if they're going to show up, they should be right there anyway. So
basically, they came to the event and they parked their spaceship above the hotel.
yeah,
From the looks of it.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, I wonder who it was. I wonder what race it was. It makes you wonder.
It's a ship. Could be a different bunch of people in there, beings. It doesn't have to be one race.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's right. It could have picked up loads of people.
Yeah, I want to share a story that happened to me in 2012. So I'd been my ex we were channeling for a long time together, and we moved to Woodstock, New York, and our house was around the stream, and it was 2012. It was a week before December 21st, and we were like a little bit giddy, having a lot of fun, very upbeat. And I was like, okay, let's go outside and call them up. So I took a tiny flashlight. We went outside in the courtyard. It was pitch black. And I looked up and I said, okay, if you're up there, give us a sign. And I flashed my little light once. And in that second, a huge beam, just like the movies, came full blast onto us for about 5 seconds. And it was like, vroom. And it was about as high as the trees. It was right above our heads. And the next day, our neighbor came over, and she said, I don't know how to tell you this, but I was looking into your yard from my yard, and I saw this giant orb, and I didn't know how you got to stay there. And as I'm watching it, it flies around your house and shoots off into the woods. So we had confirmation both different days that we had definitely had an incredible sighting. But what was incredible was that I asked for it, and it happened in that second, as opposed to just being like, oh, did you see that? So calling on them, I don't know who they were, and I still don't know yet who showed up. Were they human? Were they playing games? Or did they tap into my consciousness? Or were they my star family, just kind of like saying, yep, we're here, we're watching you. But it was incredible.
Mm. That's definitely interesting. Kitty!
Cat. I've noticed all you people that are into aliens have all got cats. I've noticed that.
I've noticed that seems to be a common thing with us.
Have you noticed that?
I'm a
I
cat lover.
don't have a dog. Everybody seems to have cats.
I've had 8 cats. Yeah, I've had 8.
I've got 4. One of them may have been a gift, but
aye, that's an interesting story. That actually, that cat that came to you, Dakota, it really is interesting.
Yeah, she's.
I think cats are more
right
than
now.
you think. I think cats are more spiritual.
Yeah, Gene Charles was talking about the cat, right? That was in his room.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah. When his brother came.
Yeah, and then they played a trick on the cat. They played a trick on him, and the cat they thought he was dead, and he came back to life or something.
So explain to everybody who his brother is.
Wait. You go.
You want me to take this one? So, for those who weren't there, I know that Jean Charles, he's been posting a lot about everything he talked about at his conference lately on his Facebook, but basically he got to talking about his star family in that he had this one green skinned guy that was looking over him. And there was this one day he would come home and all of a sudden he couldn't find his cat anywhere. I think it was like in the cupboard, he found one of the cat's claws. Like he got pulled out and there was a little bit of blood. So obviously a little worried. It turned out that apparently this ET, who turned out to actually be his brother in his other body, thought the cat was dead. The cat was just in a deep sleep, thought the cat was dead, so he went to check on it, scared the poor cat, and ended up getting one of his claws caught while it was trying to run off.
But they talked about he was like, they're listening, they're like reporting back, these cats.
I have heard that conspiracy fly around on the internet.
I thought he said that. I thought he did say that.
But that would make sense because I actually had a cat that showed up at my house one day, just completely out of the blue, and done nothing out of the ordinary. I live out in the middle of the fields. We get stray cats all the time. Usually set out a little bit of food for them, so if they stay around, the mice will stay out. My logic. Only thing weird about this cat was that she was actually a polydactyl. She has 8 toes on both of her front paws. One thing I would normally do when trying to do ET contact sessions is I would do the CE5 app from Dr. Stu and Grimm. What I would also pair with it would be a spirit box, so that way it would be actual vocal feedback. And on several occasions, it seemed like I got lucky enough to where I was basically using the spirit box as a walkie-talkie. It had direct vocal communication. Shortly into this, after the cat shows up, there's this voice, very familiar. I recognize it as my wife, for those of you who know my story, saying, "The cat is a gift from us. Please take care of her." And I'm the only one that she warms up to for whatever reason. So,
yeah,
that's interesting.
They're ancient.
I think cats are spiritual. I think cats are used for, obviously the Egyptians used to obviously worship cats. And obviously I've heard stories today with the spiritual side of things, like ghosts and stuff like that, where cats have been involved. And it's very interesting because it's actually, we'll be doing a show on Tuesday night in memory. A friend of ours that passed away on Halloween's Eve last year. And his son told us a story really quickly. I'll give the story. His father was dying. It brought him home from the hospital. He was sitting outside. This is like Virginia in the mountains. And this black cat appeared from nowhere, from the woods, from nowhere. Anybody that went near it, it hissed it, would not allow it near it. It jumped up onto his lap. So his father went up to bed, and that was the last time, obviously, because he was dying. And the cat went up into the room and lay at the bottom of the bed. The day that his father died, the cat got up, went outside, went into the woods, and it's never been seen again for a year. Yeah. I think there is a spiritual connection. I think these are right. I think it's that they're used for something. I think, honestly, I really do.
My cats are handy when they let me know when things are in my place. Because I have a friend who's a very powerful psychic medium, and she told me I live in Grand Central and I have a ghost that lives with me. And my cousin's also a psychic medium, and she came to visit, and she was sitting in my bedroom, and I walked in the bedroom, and my cat's sitting on the bed, and they're both staring at the light, which is flickering nonstop. And I'm like, what's going on here? So, but they always look around whenever there's something moving that I don't see it all. I hear a noise upstairs, and my cats are downstairs, or they'll see something moving in the kitchen. And one time I had a little clothing rack in the hallway, and I went to the bathroom and washed my hands, and all of a sudden the hangers started banging together, and none of my cats were anywhere near that. They were asleep outside on the patio. So
that's interesting.
So I like it when they alert me, because I can't see these whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
They're on a
dog's
different frequency.
habit. My dog's bad for like sitting looking at the corner for where the spirits are, because my house is haunted. My house is like a lot very old, and it sits and looks at the corner, and there's a spirit in the house. I think, honestly, I think all animals can see spirits, but I think they can also see extraterrestrials that's using like different dimensions to travel. Because some of the spirits use the same way to travel. Oh, we lost Brett there. He's went all black. Brett.
There he
I have
is.
to make it. Sorry.
Where have
That
you
was
been?
me.
You've been missing for 6 months.
Back.
I never know what happens on this show.
You never do. I mean, the
I had to
crazy
text
things
my
that
wife.
happen on-
My wife said, "Get back in the house." I said 10 minutes.
Oh, if the wife's calling you better go, man. You know, we don't want you to get in trouble.
Oh, I am. You know.
I'm hanging in there.
So, what else? What else did you learn, Dakota, at this amazing thing that you were at that I missed? And I know I should have been there.
I don't know if you've been able to handle it, Chris. You know,
I don't know. Oh, aliens running about everywhere with big tentacles and stuff like that. I don't know.
To me, honestly, I felt that the administration team did a fantastic job, and they put together the chats, you know, and they arranged group meetings for everybody because so people know I'm a local, and so I never got to meet anybody really outside of the conference. So for people to, you know, get together and conglomerate and socialize and get to know one another first on the chats and then together personally, there's such a deep soul connection, and it's so true what Danny said, that you know when you meet someone who you've known in past lives. There's several people I could rattle off where, you know, I felt like I totally knew them forever, you know, and it was the first time I've ever met them, and we're becoming really close friends. So it's that, to me, it felt like what I've been yearning for my whole life. It literally was there, present, and like there's no other reason in my view of like why we're here but to reconnect with our star family. Because when you feel like you're a black sheep your whole life, it's like
right. Nobody had to edit themselves, which was amazing in conversation.
Oh, yes.
That was something else.
And there was just this love.
Think about it. But when you go ahead,
I was just going to say there was so much love present. It was palpable in the room, and there was so much energy there. You know, the only thing I can compare it to is having been at an ashram where there's nothing but spiritual practice going on morning to night, or being at Mount Shasta where the frequency is really high, which I grew up in California. I never even knew that the energy was really high at Mount Shasta, and I had no idea about Talos or anything else. And it starts to purge all of the shadow stuff that I identify with that is not our true self. And so a lot of that came up for me the second day. And just a lot of people spontaneously crying, not to scare people away, but that's just purging, you know, of stuff that we don't need anymore, that we can let go of. And it's the high frequency, which personally I think is from all of these high frequency beings coming together. It's very, very powerful, and it's very transformational.
It was.
It was like I went to see Amma the hugging guru, maybe 5 years in a row, and it was the same kind of frequency for me. Being in the room with so many like-minded people, love based. That was what I was feeling too.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I'll be completely honest. You know, I'm bad when it comes to post-travel blues. You know, anytime I have a good trip and you're starting to come to that wind down, you get to the point where you just gotta start getting ready to, pack up and go home. 5 minutes from hugging everybody goodbye, I was outside the hotel crying, trying to hold myself together at least long enough to. I was at a hotel just across the street. It's like, just let me get to my hotel room, then I'll do it.
But you'll get to meet each other again next year.
Yeah.
Some of us will be coming together. Yeah.
Yeah. I broke down also like the second day I got back. I was having all these epiphanies and breakthroughs, and it was just like poof, 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 and I couldn't hold it in anymore. It was incredible.
It was. Towards the end, I was kind of hoping to ask Tony a question about how he was able to use ChatGPT to find those documents, because, he was going through his story, and I'm just sitting back like, wait the fuck a second. That sounds like something near my house. But we'll see how that turns out later on.
Yeah, he's an investigator.
It's quite interesting because all you before you came to this plane of existence all probably worked together. Because it's interesting to think who you guys were before you came here. It really is interesting that.
Well,
And
we're
you've
all
obviously came here to help this world.
We're all a soul and a body, and not a body with a soul. So we always have been, and we always will be. You know, so we've all been coming back and doing missions, but some are out of this world. But when we get our memories full on back, then we'll probably be relating to each other even more.
My understanding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're okay.
My understanding is that some of them still have their other alien bodies and that they're interchangeable, that they can literally put their human body in stasis and take over their other body.
Right.
And it's not like that alien body died and then they incarnated. It's like they went into stasis. Like,
Right.
you know, that alien girl that was found on the moon in that ship, supposedly, that the astronauts found?
In the
you guys
tank?
ever see that?
Oh, no, this one that was in a tank. Okay.
And so she was in stasis for, I don't even know how many, like 1 million years or something. They said she was in stasis and she had these things over her eyes and over her mouth. But other than that, she was completely exposed. Anyway, I'm just saying that they have this technology. And of course, you know, if you listen to JP's accounts, the one where he goes underground and he goes through a time portal and he ends up, where was it, in South America or something? And then there's this huge sarcophagus there, and there are all these people that came out. Some of them looked African, some of them looked Asian, but I think they were all alien. And the African looking people started doing a dance, and then it created a change in the gravity, and there was like no gravity, and they were floating around in the air. And then the top of the sarcophagus lifted enough where they could like lift the lid off. And then they found this being, this giant in there, but he was like half decomposed, and he was stating how horrible it smelled. And then they wanted to leave. I guess the commander wanted them to leave because the gravity went zoop, and then everything got really heavy and they couldn't even lift themselves off of the ground. And then when they went back into the room, because they had left, the military people, JP's crew had left, and then they came back into the room, everybody was gone. So, and there was some kind of noise that they heard, and so something happened. They believe it was the spirit of that being came into the body, and they were saying that they're able to manipulate time, because they were talking about, well, how could you inhabit a body that's decomposed? You know what I mean? But they have these giants that have been there in stasis for a very long time, and their bodies, their spirits are somewhere else, but when it's time, then they come into their body again.
Yeah, it must be very boring for the air people just looking at this giant body that's not moving forever.
Yeah, right.
Well, here we are again. Oh, God. Doing nothing. Giant body. Great.
Well, it totally contradicts everything that we know is possible, right? I mean, because if any person's in a coma for any period of time, everything slows down. There's no lymphatic flow, and, you know, the body eventually will die. So there's some kind of tech that we don't know about that they have to sustain the life force of the body without a spirit in it.
That's that monatomic gold, probably. That's where they found, same as the Raju Cinema book series that Dr. Sala talks about a lot. I read all the 7 books, and it's that gold that helps sustain us and also gives us longevity. So they find that each time where these bodies are. Or there's a computer that's been there for 50,000 years, and that dust is there. You can have the monatomic gold, you can ingest it. It's every Egyptian's rite of passage to drink gold for a month. And they would have those out-of-body experiences as well. Something to do with gold.
Is that no the Anunnaki? Was the Anunnaki that that mined the gold on Earth. Am I right here? Am I saying that correctly? The Anunnaki were the ones that. What about them? Are they still kicking about? Whereabouts are the Anunnaki? I'm actually reading a book now. Was it Zachariah Sitchin? Is it the 12th planet now?
Right. Well, that's where Elena has really updated us all with Enki and Enlil. And we know that Enlil has been kicked off of the planet, and Enki is here, Ea. He goes by, which is water. So they've returned, and the confusion that's been cleared up from Sitchin's books and to now Elena Dannon's information is that Nibiru is a ship, and it's not a planet, it's a ship. And they're on the ship. And so they've returned with their ship, and it's stationed up by, I believe, in Jupiter right now. And Enki is not going to return to the Earth because he just can't do it. But he's there, and he's given over the DNA codes to the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So the good fraction of the Anunnaki are now working for the better of humanity, where Enlil was not, and he was here to change the being, the humans' race DNA, so that we would stop looking inward and we would look outward, and then they would become the ones that we worshipped while we're mining for gold. That's about where we're at, in a nutshell.
Roughly. Yeah.
I got that book. I found it it's quite an interesting book. I'm like halfway through it. It's quite an interesting.
The Cedars? Which one?
Is that?
Sitchin.
What are you reading?
Sitchin.
Oh, Zachariah Sitchin.
When time began.
There you go.
I've got all of them. I've got a big stack of them. I've got about maybe 15 different ones.
He got a lot of it right, but I guess just that one point, which was a big point.
Quite an interesting book. It's quite interesting. But I must admit, Elena's books, they're interesting. They're really good books. I do like them.
The Cedars is, I read it in like 3 days, and that's a 500 page book. I could not get that out of my hand, and I couldn't get Tony Rodriguez's book out of my hand either. Oh my God. And books is the only place I have right now. I was taken down off of social media. So the only place I am on is Positive Conscious News Source on Instagram, and I just have Red Pill books up there, and there are some very good ones. So I'm like, since 2020, I just started reading books, and then 2021 I broke my ankle, and I just kept reading books. So
I will say there is something about reading. The books. I was bad in the past. I used to buy the audiobooks. See, I'm dyslexic. My writing's diabolical, but I can read, right? So what I do is I buy a book. It might take me a wee bit longer than you guys read, but I don't know what it is. There's something about having a book rather than having it in like e-form, like on like an iPad or something like that. There's something about having the paper and the pages. I think it's better.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It is.
I love my books. Ugh.
Yeah.
The real ones you can hold and get signed by incredible people.
That's
Exactly.
actually a good point. I've got a big stack.
Get signed, and if someone goes to make fun of you for reading that book, you whack him with it. No.
Yeah. Take my computer. Sign my computer. Not on the screen.
Yeah.
I didn't have luck enough.
I suppose.
Unfortunately, I didn't get out soon enough.
Dakota actually got a few interesting books. Have you had Dakota's books? Dakota's
No,
quite
but
a few
I will. How many have you written, Dakota?
Only one that really delved into my experience with this stuff. It was way before I really met Elena and started going deep into UFOs. Actually, because of GSIC, I finally figured out how to put together and end off a book I've been writing about my experiences that people have been asking about for some time once they start to realize my situation is an ongoing saga.
So is your book available somewhere?
It's a good read.
Yeah.
It's a really good read. Okay.
It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, a bunch of other different stores. I really should set something up on the Bald and Bonkers website, but just haven't had the time.
And what's it called?
It's called Dear Coda. It's kind of letters. I wrote it was kind of like letters to my younger self, addressing key points of life changes and all that.
Okay, good.
There was two different books, so I bought two different books. I bought the first book because then he brought it out again. So
That's the extended one.
Look at it. That's it now. So you know
Awesome.
what to look for.
Okay, good.
It's a really good book. Buy it, guys. Brilliant.
So I'm working on a new one that goes more into depth about everything I got. So
The mystery unfolds for everyone, right? It's incredible. This journey we're on is just like mind blowing every day.
Yeah, chances
Where
are
is it going to take us in the next year?
Right?
Huh.
Like, no, chances are one of the craft that was showing up disco night may have had me and my son in it. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was interesting.
We'd like to hear more about that then.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
When
you figure it out.
By the way, tell us about that.
The last video I put out that talked a little bit more one-on-one about my experience with GSIC. I had talked about it, and I don't know. I honestly got emotional recording that to where a bunch of people started messaging me asking me if I was okay because they never seen me get that wild up. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Don't worry. I'm good. I'm feeling better than I had in a long time. If you ignore the head cold I got since coming back to 30-degree weather.
He was getting on airplanes for some weird reason. I don't know. I've never been in an airplane, by the way. I'm dreading the day I go in the airplane. I'll come off it with weird virus or something like that.
He's such a germaphobe.
They've only got it in Kindle form, the new on Amazon.
What you talking about?
Oh no, hardcover, paperback. It's there. I'll send you the link in Amazon.
See?
Hardcover.
I know it's there. I still get royalties from it.
I'm just gonna post it in the chat on my Ghost Squad channel right now. There you go. It's in the chat on Amazon if you want to find it.
Cool. You gotta plug yourself.
Well, it's my show. Of
I'm
course
doing my best for you.
I plug myself all the time. So, what do you guys hope is going to happen for next year when it comes to next year's conference?
Well, it depends if disclosure would have happened by then.
Right?
Can you imagine that would be a different energy right there. They disclose and then we go, or they don't disclose yet and then we're still talking about stuff.
I know. I was like, I got to thinking about that at one point. It's like, if disclosure finally happens, the grand reveal, they start showing up. What's going to be the point of putting on the conference after that?
Yeah, maybe.
Nothing against Danny. Love her to death.
But that's the thing. Once the extraterrestrials actually decide to turn up, once they're allowed to come, and once they'll have to basically rebuild the planet, because the planet's falling apart now because of pollution, because of clean energy. They need to get rid of all the weapons. Come on, we need to get rid of all these dangerous weapons. We need to stop killing each other. Can't I mean? They will have to stick about until they help us into a new era.
That's why we need announcements before all this goes down, because if we're going to be killing ourselves because of a religion or a color or race, when the ETs, when like these crazy, like any of these ETs that from like Star Wars show up and whatever they look like, we're not ready for that. So something has to happen, an event, so to clear this mess out.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. I mean, the way I figure right now, we're like that one relative who's always getting bailed out when they get themselves in trouble. We're not going to learn our lesson until we pull our own heads out of our hind ends and actually make change happen.
Yeah.
I can just imagine what it's like for the Galactic Federation. They'll be sitting there like, oh no, what's the Earth done now? What have they done now? What have they done now? And they turn on their viewer screen, blowing some city up or some mad invasion somewhere. Yeah, I mean,
I do see a very positive future. I do see a positive future, but it's hard to see it when you've got all this crazy stuff happening in the world. But I look straight through it, and I think we're going to bounce into like the Star Trek future, and it's going to be magic.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And I think I'm about to get beamed up because I just got a word. So
yeah. Oh.
That was abrupt.
Oh.
Thanks for having me on your
Well-
show, but my wife is beaming me up right now.
Oh, good luck.
Goodbye, Brett.
Nice to
Yeah,
talk to you all.
Nice
Have a
talk
good
to you,
night.
man.
Peace and
You
love.
too.
I'll see you
Much love,
shortly.
brother.
Thank you.
He's slowly
Oh,
going. There he's gone.
And
I
then
know
there
it's
were
something.
3.
I never touched any buttons. You know, I never touched it. I'm looking forward to if it's going to be the Star Trek future. I hope they've got the holodeck. I want the holodeck.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. That's good. Oh, there we go. That's better.
Are you sure?
What?
You there, Chris? You there, Chris?
I'm still here.
You look
aye.
like you look like you were dropping out there for a sec.
No, I changed the screen in a bit. I changed the screen in a bit. The aliens are taking me.
Shit.
I don't want to go home. I like it here.
And he's gone. No.
There he is. We just switched places.
Oh God. It's fine.
Oh.
I'll stay down here. That's all. I like it down here. It's cooler. Yeah. Look up me.
Just drop.
What any other news is there any news that he's learned while he's were there that he's allowed to share on here? Dakota? Yeah.
Any other news?
Wee bit before we go.
I mean, there's people that went up to Ponce de Leon Springs in North Florida after the conference was over to see if they could find the entrance, to the underground civilization of the ant people. I'm kind of laughing because you kind of have to really have some mad skills to be able to find something like that. But the guy
find the ant
led that expedition as a really sweet guy, humble guy. And he went up there and he said he was instructed to follow the trail and listen and use his intuition, and kind of got some signals that there might be some Yeti up there too, like protecting that entrance. But supposedly it's an hour walk down there into the ground once you find the entrance.
That actually seems to be fairly common because any of those entrances are supposed to have in the inner earth. There's always reports of some sort of Sasquatch or Yeti, and I'm just like, wait a second, I know a spot.
Maybe they're the
I
guardians.
need to go mountain climbing.
Maybe they're the guardians. Maybe they're the caretakers and guardians of these secret worlds. Maybe that's their purpose. Maybe that is what their purpose is. Because some of the Bigfoot or whatever they are, Sasquatch, some of them are either tribal in that, but some of them are highly advanced. Maybe they are like guardians. I mean, you look at, is it Mount Shasta? There's meant to be a Squatch there, is there no? Is there no meant to be Bigfoot? It's meant to be at Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, are they like protecting the entrance, the secret entrance?
That could very well be. Yeah. My cousin actually heard a Sasquatch outside of our tent when we were at Shasta. And we were in the middle of nowhere, we were on the mountain roughing it. And I was asleep with my earplugs and my face mask. And she was hearing something breathing very heavy, 10 feet outside of our tent. But she didn't wake me up because she was afraid I'd be like, what? Why are you waking me up? And she didn't want it to know that it was there. And ordinarily I would think she was pulling my leg. But she couldn't sleep for 2 nights. She was literally panicked, in fear. But then the guy who arranged the whole camping trip said, don't be afraid. They're not here to hurt you. You can even leave fruit out for them. Fruit. So she ended up calming down after 2 days. And there was a footprint that she took a picture of, which is on the chat if you're interested in looking at it. Yeah. And she saw the lights in the sky because we had a mesh tent, at the very top, there's mesh. And she had a little window through the trees. I did not. So yeah, she got to see the lights at 3 a.m. Almost every night we were up there.
See, I definitely think there's something there, Dakota. You need to go to Mount Shasta. I think there's something definitely
It's
there.
a bucket list. It's a bucket list item
It's,
for me.
I'd probably drop down Indeed. I'd probably get out the car, walk across the creek next to the car park, because I've already looked at where you can park. Walk across the creek, walk halfway up it, and keel over with a heart attack. So it's you need to hire out like an ATV for me or something like that. But but honestly, it's one of the locations. It's one of the locations where there's just something weird about it. You know, it makes you wonder what's really inside that mountain. You know, the city.
Supposedly a pyramid. That's what I heard. But
Yeah.
I've never been down there.
Right, Dakota. Expedition Dakota. You should go.
I'd be down for it.
Maybe Bolton Bonkers should do an event at Mount Shasta.
Well, let's get the money together first before we start talking like that, man.
I recommend a camper, not a tent.
Aye. A 4x4 one, I can drive right up the mountain.
And a porta potty that you can have near your tent if you don't have a camper. Otherwise,
There's Brett in the chat. There's Brett in the chat. Scotch message to humanity by support.
Oh yeah, Sunbo. Wasn't he speaking at the last conference?
I don't know. I didn't go to the last one.
Okay, I think there was someone by that name, if I'm not mistaken.
It does sound familiar.
Yeah, he came in through a video.
That's I think I heard something about that.
Yeah, he was a ranger. And they were actually thankful to him for taking care of the woods and keeping all of the people who wanted to go in there and party and start fires and, create havoc in the woods. He kind of kept the peace and the tranquility and safety for their environment. And they were friendly with him. So, but apparently he was one in his past life. So it was like he was meeting his family,
It's always interested me as old Bigfoot. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in Sasquatch and Bigfoot and that, but I do think, to purely because I was lucky enough to meet somebody that had them on his property. I do think they're real. I really do. I do think there is primitive ones. I do think there is primitive ones that stay in the woods, and you don't want to meet them because they're quite bad. But I do think there's highly technologically advanced ones. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because a lot of people have said with Bigfoot sightings and that, there's been a lot of like UFO reports. So how do we not know that some of these highly advanced ones use the ships to get about? It's intriguing. It really is.
I know until one goes to take it for a ride.
And they can also step through different dimensions from this dimension to another dimension. So they pop in and out. So they're there 1 minute, on the next. You don't have to listen to them traipse through the wood for the next 20 minutes. They just disappear.
Oh no.
See, that's something that's always fascinated me. I mean, I'm going to mention it again, but probably for the last time this year, is it Missing 411, where people in national parks have just disappeared. Obviously, yes, you could walk into the woods and get lost or fall off a cliff, but there's been cases where people have just disappeared. There's been people in front of them, people behind them. There's nowhere to go left or right, and then they just disappeared. And it makes you wonder: has there been a portal that's opened up and the person's just walked through it?
Well, there's also stories. There's stories of these underground facilities where they have a hologram image of a hillside. And in one instance, there was a kid running they were, in the mountains, and his friend was chasing him. And the one kid ran into the mountain and ran into a reptilian who said, "You shouldn't be here." And the kid turned around and ran out. And then it was just the hillside again. So I don't know if they can put a force field there, but it would make it easy for them to kidnap people who are at the end of the trail, the end of the line of people.
Mm-hmm.
If they had a hillside that was actually a hologram. Because I have some friends that went to Dallas. I don't know if anyone ever followed Negative 48, but they went to Dallas, and there was some people that I knew that went to see the Rolling Stones, and they stood at the side of the stage, and there was half of the singer there. So they were a hologram. They weren't even real, but everything from the front looked completely real. That's how advanced that technology is. So literally anything can be.
I've seen that. I've seen the new holographic technology that's out. There's actually one the other day there that was posted on TikTok, and it looked like a car burning in the middle of the road. It looked so real, like a car burning in the middle of the road, but it was AI generated.
Wow.
I was about to say, is that the one where they drag that like pink balloon over it and show the flames bending around? Dude, that was a video game engine.
See, that's what I mean.
That was a video game development.
But see, that's what I mean. That's how ridiculous AI is getting now. I mean,
oh yeah,
you see that. Talking about AI really quickly. See that new video game that it's not released yet, Dakota, and it was like a city. It was like New York City actually, and it didn't matter what bot you went up to, you could talk to them. It was like every bot had awareness. Every bot in the game had awareness. And there was one guy with his laptop, with his computer, and went up to one of the bots, and he says, "You aren't real. This doesn't exist." And the bot actually go, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't exist. What's going on?" Because that's the artificial intelligence. You never seen that. I'll send you the video after the show. It's actually a really interesting video. Very interesting. And it's where it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter where you go. The game's not out yet, but it doesn't matter where or who you go up to in the game. You can talk to them because they're all artificial intelligence. Was that anyone hear any voices? I've been hearing kind of weird kind of voices. Yeah.
I'm literally hearing what sounds like you click, like somebody tapping into like an intercom system.
I
hear something's being spoke that it come off.
I heard as if, you know how you used to get this is showing my age. You know how you used to get the old telephones where you would lift it off and it would go click? That's what I heard. That's what I heard. But why would they do that? Why would they tap into it? I mean, it's getting live out of the air.
I don't know. I'm going to have to play back because ever since Heather came on, it's gotten weird.
Yes. I'm going to probably get a visitation tonight or something like that, right? That's that. I'll need to lock my window and my bedroom door. I should be secure.
But they can move through objects.
I know. I know.
I was about to say, my cat focuses on one spot in the walls, and you can see where she's tried clawing at it, where she's seen me go through when I've gotten taken.
Wow.
I've got a camera pointed there. I just got to remember what was the password on the damn DVR that I put on it. I can't remember the password, so I can't get to the recordings.
See, that's just, it just shows you. It makes you wonder how they must levitate you off your bed and take you through into a portal.
Considering the times that I've been brought back in a rush and my bed frame's actually busted.
Well, look about the time when you were a young kid and you were dropped off at the wrong place.
Yeah, that would have been within a good scope shot of those mountains I was talking about earlier.
The two aliens that were dropping you off, they'd be like, "Right, listen, we can make it to the cafe for cakes, but we're going to drop them off too early. Let's drop them off somewhere else and drop you off at your house then, you know." But maybe they can't that you were in danger. You never know. Maybe for your own good.
Like I said, with Tony's presentation, you guys started talking about certain indications where he was taken. And I'm just saying, like, wait, there's been several UFOs spotted on a certain mountain range not too far from me. And the house where I ended up in is just literally within earshot. If you have a good enough telescope, you can see the house I ended up in from those mountains. So I gotta try to limit down my search area because I think there's something else up there that if I'm right, I'm gonna feel stupid for not realizing it sooner.
There's that video there. I'll send it to you. The new actually, it's what it is. It's AI finds out they aren't real.
Yeah.
Right. So it's basically it's like a city like New York, and it's a game, right? Like imagine GTA, except it's like New York City. Everybody that's walking about, you can talk to, like how some games are, but everything's run by AI, and the guy tells them that you're AI and you don't exist, and the AI basically freaks out because they've just realized that they don't exist. Yeah, it's a scary thought, isn't it? To think maybe all of this is just maybe we're really on pod somewhere, and all of this is just
Maybe.
Well,
we just now realize we are way over time, so we're probably going to go ahead and end this here. Heather, thank you for coming on. Brett, if you're still here, thank you, brother. There's that voice again.
I know. I heard that. It laughed.
It did.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it was like It was like electronic voice coming through.
Okay.
It went. It was an electronic laugh. It was an electronic laugh. Maybe it's
it's an AI. An AI just heard us talking about it. Okay, that's a little disturbing. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen. But what?
That was it was an electronic voice kind of thing.
Yeah,
they're coming to get you tonight.
That doesn't surprise me.
Look your windies, aye, they tell you the do, aye. The bit of Scottishness in me there's coming out now, aye. They're going to take you away. Get their big tentacles on you.
All right, well, we'll go. I don't know. I don't know why I keep doing shows with this moron. Much love. Take care. Stay safe, y'all, and feel free to let us know if anything weird happens to you after this show, because
unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love and take care.